Dan Dickau here for Gonzaga Nation SI on the Gonzaga Nation Media Network. Well, there's been some, at least for some fans, some frustrating moments for Gonzaga basketball since the season ended and that loss to UConn, and the fact that three players have entered the transfer portal, which is normal these days in college basketball, that being Dom Harris, Efton Reed, and Hunter Salas. But people were kind of waiting, hoping to hear Gonzaga getting some good news on a front of a player deciding to come to Gonzaga. Well, first domino fell. Gonzaga is bringing on a native Washingtonian, someone who I think's got a chance to really help bolster the team next season, and that would be Steele Venters, who was the Big Sky Player of the Year. He's a unique story, originally from Ellensburg High School in the middle of the state. He went to Eastern Washington, redshirted his first year as a freshman, played in about 17 games, I believe it was. 17 games where he averaged about 3 points a game. As a sophomore, he really kind of showed his growth as a player, where he averaged over 16 and a half, shot at 43% from beyond the three-point line. And then as a junior this past year, when he became the Big Sky Player of the Year, he averaged over 15 points, about 3 rebounds, an assist and a half a game or so. 3-point percentages dipped a little bit down to about 37-38%. But a lot of that had to do with the fact that he was keyed on by so many opposing defenses. And the reason I like this addition for Gonzaga is a couple reasons. I think he's a shooter with really good size, about 6'7", 200 pounds. Think Corey Kispert size, maybe not as big physically up top with strength, but at least as far as length, at least as far as height, he's about Corey Kispert's height and size. I think he's got a tremendous jump shot. He can shoot it from deep. He's got good footwork. I think he understands spacing and how to come off of screens and how to play off of dribble drive actions or post-ups where your defense rotates, how and where to get into the sight line of your teammates so you can get an open shot. I think he understands that. I think the other thing that I think is really positive and necessary for Gonzaga moving forward, as you see all this transfer portal craziness in the world of college basketball, where it's, what do you got for me now? What do you have for me NIL? What do you have for me playing time wise? What can you promise me? I think you need guys that want to be a big part of your program. And I think this is what you have with Steele Venters. He's a guy who grew up in the state, probably wanted to be a Gonzaga Bulldog when he was growing up. And so, the fact is the opportunity presented itself and he was ready to take it, and he's excited for it, and he's going to place team above all else. I think that's important. I think you also see that in Ben Gregg, and I'm not saying you don't see it with other guys, but I think you need somewhat what a lot of people call program guys that that are going to be there for multiple years, and or in Steele's case, it's important for them to be at Gonzaga. It's important to be a part of something that they've always wanted to be a part of, make an NCAA tournament run with this group, this school, this program. Because I think when you look at, some of the other opportunities Steele had, Power 5 schools, but did he have that thought process as a kid? Like, hey, I want to go play at Oregon State, or do I want to go play at, say, a random Big Ten school, Minnesota? No, I'm sure he grew up wanting to be a Gonzaga Bulldog, and one of his good friends, workout buddies growing up, was Brock Reve, and I had a chance to work out Steele and Brock probably about 6 years ago. And, he was a talented player then. He was at that time just starting to get a little bit of college recruitment, and so I think, seeing the development and the evolution of his game has been impressive. He's also a good kid, from what I understand. He's a good student. I know he's a good kid. He did a clinic this past season at Shoot 360 with some high school kids, and so I think he also fits the mold of understanding the role that college athletes can play in their community. So hopefully there will be another clinic with Steele at Shoot 360 in the upcoming months, where he can kind of get to know some people in the Gonzaga Spokane community, and vice versa. Those kids who look up to Gonzaga players can get a chance to see him in a clinic setting, ask him questions. That's always a fun thing about those clinics that we run at Shoot 360 Spokane. But when you look at Steele again on the basketball side of things, he had a number of 20-point games over the course of the season against Big Sky opponents. But you also, when you're pegging transfers from lower levels, lower divisions, conferences up to playing against the competition Gonzaga wants to face in the NCAA tournament and in their non-conference, you got to look and see how they played against good competition. And when Eastern played good competition a season ago, Steele played really well. They played Washington State twice. First game he had 20, and then in the first round game of the NIT tournament, he had 27 down in Pullman, when Eastern knocked off and upset Washington State. He had 26 against Texas Tech. Now, Texas Tech's one of the best defensive teams, or has been over the last few years, out of the Big 12 conference. North Dakota State, granted, it's not your Power 5 team, but they're a team that's year in, year out in the NCAA tournament or on the bubble of the NCAA tournament. He had 33 against them this year. And then he's had multiple 20-point games against teams in Big Sky Conference play. So don't have any concerns, don't have any worries about the level being too high for him. I think he's a great add. He's a great addition to Gonzaga, and I look forward to seeing him on being a part of Gonzaga's roster next season.